What is going on, guys? It's Philly Bo back here again, and I want to give you 5 quick tips on becoming a better frontman for a band. And if you are trying to become a vocalist or anything like that, these are 5 tips to help you with your stage presence and stuff like that. So let's dive right into it. Alright, this first tip I'm going to give you is the most important one in becoming a frontman for a band, and that is to be confident. Pretty much in a nutshell, guys, you don't want to be walking back and forth constantly while you're talking to the crowd and in between breaks of songs and stuff like that. You want to be up there and you want people to know that, hey, I've done this before, I know what I'm doing, I know exactly what to say, I know how to command a crowd. That is the most important thing. If you've got someone up there that is just being really shy and really bashful, that's not really going to work out for you. And I'm not saying that you're going to get it your first time or even your first year of being a vocalist. It takes a lot of time. Honestly, I was like that whenever I first started. I was really bashful. I'm just a shy person in general. But whenever I get up on stage, I've done it for so long now, and I just know exactly what to do. I know exactly what I'm going to say and the exact things that I'm going to do. You can get on YouTube right now and you can search for live performances from bands and just take notes from them and see what they do. Take into consideration what they're doing and how they're commanding crowds and stuff like that. Just try to get it out of your head that all these people are up there judging you. You're up there doing your thing. You're on stage. They're not. They're watching you. You're commanding the crowd. You're the show. And just remember that. They're there to see you, and that's it. And like I said, guys, don't think that you're going to get it your first show or your second show or even your 50th show. Just get up there, do the best that you can do. Try to record your shows, try to record your live shows and see the mistakes you make and the dead air in the show. Sometimes it even happens to me sometimes still. I'll fumble my words and stuff like that. But just try to just maintain your confidence and just realize that you are the show. They are there to see you. And don't worry about what other people think of you. Alright, the second tip I have for you guys is make eye contact. Just pretty much think of it this way. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Philly Bo, and I'm here to give you 5 quick tips on becoming a frontman for a band. Well, that was fucking weird, wasn't it? It's pretty much the same exact thing. You always want to make eye contact with the crowd whenever you're talking in between songs. This kind of goes with the first one that I told you guys about having confidence. You don't want to pace back and forth, just going back and forth, talking to the crowd. You don't want to do that. That is just, it shows nervousness. It shows that you're not confident in what you're doing. You always want to look at the crowd. I'm not saying that you have to look each and every person in the eye. I'm not saying that at all. Just make sure you're facing the crowd. Honestly, what I do is I look out in the center where everyone is moshing and doing all that kind of crazy shit. I'm just looking at those people, and I'll make eye contact with the people in the front. But make sure you're always looking at the crowd. Don't turn around and just look at the drummer while you're talking. Just try to always, you want to keep the crowd involved, and that makes them feel like they're a part of the show. Alright, the third tip I have for you guys is practice your speaking skills. You think of your set that you're going to play, and think about the dead time where your band is going to be getting drinks of water, tuning up their guitars and stuff like that, when there's going to be, basically the spotlight is going to be on you. Just think of that time and think about what you're going to say to the crowd. Most of the time, I usually just give thanks to the bands and thanks to everyone for coming out and stuff like that, because I don't really have jokes and stuff like that I'm going to tell. It honestly depends on your personality. If you're just a jokey, really witty kind of guy, you can talk to the crowd that way. I keep it very simple just because that's my style. I don't really care to tell jokes and stuff like that. But if that's the way you are, then go for it. But just make sure that you're talking and you're not fumbling your words constantly. I still do it to this day. It just happens sometimes. I have those nights where I just don't really know what to say because I'm either just have an off night or my head's just not in the right place. But just make sure that you're trying to keep your sentences really smooth and fluid and that you're not fumbling your words. Alright, the fourth tip I have for you guys is to have emotion in your stage performance. There's been some bands that I've seen where guys will just kind of stand around. They sound good, but they don't really have any movement to their voice. They don't really have movement to their stage performance. They just kind of stand there, or they'll just stand behind the guitar players. The whole point of being a frontman is to have the eyes on you, because that is just a natural thing. Whenever you watch a band, the first thing you're going to notice and the first thing you're going to watch is the vocalist. And I don't know I guess that's just human nature, but that's always how it is. And the front man is the one that is always going to be up in front and center. And that's the way you want it. You don't want the vocalist to be behind the drum set or behind a guitar player or off to the side, you know, hiding behind a curtain or something like that. You want to be up close and center. You want to be the center of attention. Not saying hog the spotlight from everyone else, but you just have to realize that that's the way it's going to be. People are going to be criticizing you the most and be talking about how you commanded the show. The way that I have emotion in our show is that our music just kind of gives me like a creepy kind of vibe, and I just kind of I like to slither around like a snake and just crawl really slow and just make weird movements. That's just the way that our music makes me feel. I'm not saying that that's the way you have to do it, because your band might be a completely different genre than ours. That's basically how it makes me feel, and I just get in this little I have control over what I'm doing, and I know a lot of people say that people are possessed when they're on stage. I'm not possessed. I know exactly what I'm doing. I just do what the music makes me feel, and I just like to be kind of creepy and weird with it, because that's the whole point. That's why it's called a show, is because you are putting on a show. Put the emotion that you feel in the music, and don't hold back. Don't feel like people are going to judge you or feel embarrassed of doing anything on stage. And the last and final tip I have for you guys, this is not a necessity, but it helps out a lot. That is to get an ego riser. You probably have seen a lot of bands, the frontman has a big box that he stands on. And you can buy these from people that actually manufacture them and sell them online. I'm not exactly sure where you can get those, but because a lot of our stuff is bought by Alex, and our manager actually goes and finds all that stuff for us, and I don't really look into it. The first one that we ever had, we actually built ourselves. It's just built out of wood, and we put grip tape on the top of it. But that is going to raise you up, obviously, why it's called an ego riser. It raises you up, puts you above everyone else, and makes you more noticeable. And it's going to make people be like, oh, look at that guy. He's high up off the ground. I want to look at him. I want to see what he's doing. And it just makes you more presentable. It helps you to be noticed more and things like that. It really helps out, and it really helps me out too, because I like to put my foot on it and kind of lean over and do my vocals like that sometimes. And it really helps with just, you know, with foot placement, because I know one thing that is very, very common and a very natural feeling for vocalists to do is to put their foot on the monitors on the front of the stage, and that kind of takes this away. You just have this big ego riser that you can kind of just step your foot up on, and you can just use that for leverage and just as a comfort zone. And that's what I use mine for, and I like to hop up on it, you know, and just kind of be like, you know, it puts a whole different aspect to your show. It's almost like night and day. If we didn't have that ego riser, it would make our show look stupid, in my opinion. Alright guys, this has been your boy Philly Bo. I am out of here, and this has just been 5 quick tips for you guys to just kind of take into consideration. There's a lot more things that you can do, but those are the 5 pretty much most important things that I look at to being essential to being a vocalist and to be a frontman of a band. Just take those into consideration, study them, do what you feel is comfortable with you. Just go through those 5 steps and tell me how it helps you. See if it helps you. Let me know in the comments and stuff like that. I want to know if I'm actually helping you guys, and, you know, if this stuff is actually beneficial to you. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.